Hey Bougie click. Have you ever wondered what really goes on behind the glitzy facade of celebrity life? Join us as we delve into the Cardi B and Stefon Diggs saga, a case study that shows money can buy a lifestyle, but not class or integrity. We'll explore the drama that unfolded at Super Bowl 60, where personal relationships clashed with public spectacle, leaving behind emotional chaos. From high-profile parties to the complexities of modern romance, this story has it all. Get ready to see how problematic patterns in relationships can be masked by fame and fortune, and why true value goes beyond the superficial. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now, let's get into it.
I'ma make you a fan.
Money can't buy class, Cardi B and Stefon Diggs case study. Super Bowl 60 wasn't just a loss for the New England Patriots, it was the unraveling of a carefully constructed illusion. While Cardi B stood in the stadium wearing her man's jersey, Stefon Diggs was busy proving that a $63.5 million contract can't purchase basic decency. By the time the confetti settled on the Seahawks' victory, Cardi and Diggs had unfollowed each other on Instagram. She'd planned an expensive after-party for him, and instead of appreciation, she got a masterclass in why dating problematic men is like betting on a team with a losing record. The odds are never in your favor. The ultimate disrespect, when your ex's side piece crashes your Super Bowl. The Super Bowl 60 catastrophe wasn't just about football, it was a masterclass in how problematic men orchestrate psychological warfare through women. While Cardi B stood in Levi's Stadium wearing Stefon Diggs' jersey, believing she was the main character in their love story, the real plot twist was unfolding in his private box. Enter Pri, an Instagram model whose government name remains conveniently obscured by NDAs and legal threats. This isn't just any groupie. Pri first gained infamy for her documented affair with Offset during his marriage to Cardi B. Yes, you read that correctly. The same woman who helped destroy Cardi's marriage was now sitting in her new boyfriend's VIP box, telling him I love you on camera before the biggest game of his career. The audacity requires unpacking. Diggs didn't just invite a random woman to his box, he strategically chose the one person guaranteed to psychologically destroy Cardi. This is advanced emotional terrorism. Imagine discovering that your new man is best friends with the woman who fucked your ex-husband while you were pregnant. That's not a red flag, it's a declaration of war. The Pri playbook, professional homewrecker. Pri's relationship with Diggs reveals a disturbing pattern. According to multiple sources, she's been in his orbit since at least 2024, overlapping with multiple baby mothers and girlfriends. Her modus operandi is consistent: target high-profile men in relationships, maintain plausible deniability through friendship, then strategically appear at pivotal moments to maximum destructive effect. The Super Bowl appearance wasn't spontaneous. Witnesses report Pri greeting Diggs with I love you while cameras rolled, a calculated move ensuring Cardi would see it. This is weaponized intimacy, designed to humiliate publicly what couldn't be destroyed privately. The triangle from hell. But wait, the disrespect goes deeper. Kiana Barber, one of Diggs' baby mothers, was also at the Super Bowl with their infant son dressed in Patriots gear. While Cardi sat in one section wearing his jersey, Kiana was in another section with their baby dressed in Diggs' number, complete with a beanie stitched with Snoop, his childhood nickname. Let that sink in. This man had his current girlfriend Cardi be in attendance, planning a $1.2 million after party. His baby mama Kiana Barber with their son in the stands. His best friend Offset's former mistress Pri, the professional homewrecker who helped destroy Cardi's marriage in his private box saying I love you. Multiple other women he'd invited to the game. This wasn't just poor planning, it was psychological warfare. Imagine being Cardi, thinking you're the main character, only to discover you're part of an ensemble cast. The baby dressed in daddy's number wasn't even yours. The woman in his private box was connected to your ex-husband's cheating scandal. You're literally surrounded by the ghosts of Dick past, present, and future. Kayana posting those Instagram stories wasn't innocent documentation, it was a territorial marking. Look, I have his actual child. I have history. You're just this season's storyline. And when Diggs posted his Super Bowl recap, guess whose son he featured? Not Cardi's newborn, Kayana's baby. The snub was nuclear. This is what happens when you date a man with a baby mama collective. They coordinate appearances, they stake claims, and they turn every public event into a battlefield where you're always outnumbered. Cardi thought she was attending a football game. She was actually walking into an ambush orchestrated by women who knew the playbook better than she ever could. Why this matters? The pre-situation exposes how problematic men weaponize women against each other. They don't just cheat, they create intricate webs where their victims become unwitting participants in each other's trauma. Diggs knew exactly who Pre was to Cardi. He knew the history, the pain, the betrayal. And he invited her anyway. This is the ultimate power play. I can bring the woman who helped destroy your marriage into our relationship, and you'll tolerate it because you want me. It's psychological dominance masquerading as casual friendship. The message to Cardi was clear: your pain doesn't matter, your history doesn't matter, and I'll associate with whoever I want. When a man brings your ex's mistress to your current relationship's biggest moment, he's not just disrespecting you, he's showing you exactly how disposable you are in his carefully orchestrated game of musical women. The pattern: baby mamas, assault charges, and gaslighting. Let's talk numbers, because men like Diggs operate on patterns. In November 2025, Cardi gave birth to their son. That same month, news broke that model Aileen Lopra had given birth to Diggs' daughter 7 months earlier. Do the math: while Cardi was posting yacht photos and going Instagram official, Diggs had another woman pregnant. This isn't just overlapping relationships, it's emotional terrorism disguised as romance. Then came January 2026. Diggs was charged with felony strangulation and misdemeanor assault against his former personal chef over a pay dispute. A woman who cooked his meals allegedly faced violence because she wanted her wages. The psychological profile writes itself: a man who views women as disposable services rather than human beings. When confronted with accountability, whether it's child support or fair payment, violence becomes his negotiation tactic. The Cardi defense: when love makes you blind. Cardi B, a woman who built an empire on not taking shit from anybody, found herself defending a man facing assault charges. She posted screenshots of text messages, insisted the chef never said anything about being touched, and declared her confidence in his innocence. This is textbook victim psychology. When you're emotionally invested, red flags look like confetti. The irony? Cardi divorced Offset partially due to his infidelity, only to end up with a man who brought Offset's mistress to the Super Bowl. It's like escaping a burning building through the front door only to climb back in through the window. The pattern reveals a deeper truth about how even the strongest women can be manipulated by men who weaponize affection. The rap sheet: a pattern of violence and violation. Before Cardi B ever entered the picture, Stefon Diggs was already perfecting his predator playbook across multiple victims and years. June 2024, the ex-girlfriend assault. The earliest documented incident involves Mulan Hernandez, a Basketball Wives Orlando star who dated Diggs in 2024. According to court documents filed in October 2025, Diggs allegedly punched her from behind, specifically striking her in the back of the head with a closed fist on June 7, 2024. But the violence wasn't the end. In classic abuser fashion, Diggs then flew his assistant to Houston to pressure Hernandez into signing an NDA to conceal the event from the NFL and the public. When intimidation didn't work, Diggs filed a preemptive lawsuit against her for assault in February 2025, a textbook Darvo, deny, attack, reverse victim and offender, tactic. Hernandez countersued in April 2025, exposing his attempts to buy her silence. May 2023, the sexual assault allegations. Christopher Blake Griffith, an influencer and marketing executive, filed explosive counterclaims in November 2025 detailing what allegedly happened at Diggs' Rockville, Maryland home in May 2023. After a charity basketball game and club outing, Griffith alleges Diggs drugged him, sexually assaulted him, and then orchestrated a cover-up involving sexual battery, conspiracy to silence him, intentional infliction of emotional distress, physical attacks when he tried to speak out. Diggs' version? A mundane night that ended with goodbyes. The lawsuit reveals Griffith went public in August 2025, disgusted that UGG had partnered with Diggs despite his police record. Diggs responded by suing Griffith for defamation in October 2025, again, attacking the victim who dared to speak. December 2025, the chef assault. His most recent charges involve his personal chef, a woman whose only crime was asking to be paid. On December 2, at his Dedham home, police reports detail how Diggs entered her unlocked bedroom and allegedly smacked her across the face before attempting to strangle her using the crook of his elbow around her neck. She waited 2 weeks before reporting, initially hesitant and requesting a female officer when she finally came forward on December 16. The charges: felony strangulation or suffocation and misdemeanor assault and battery. His arraignment was conveniently postponed until after the Super Bowl. Court records show Diggs pleaded not guilty on February 13, 2026, just 5 days after his Super Bowl loss. His attorney called the allegations completely false. But here's what privilege buys you: the ability to strangle someone in December and play in the Super Bowl in February. The chef? She's still waiting for justice and her paycheck. The pattern of legal manipulation. What's most insidious isn't just the violence, it's the systematic legal warfare Diggs wages against his victims. He files preemptive defamation lawsuits against accusers. He attempts to force NDAs through intermediaries. He claims extortion when victims seek justice. He leverages his NFL status to delay criminal proceedings. He portrays himself as the victim of money-hungry accusers. 3 separate people. 3 different years. 3 distinct contexts. Yet the pattern remains consistent: violence followed by silencing attempts, legal manipulation, and character assassination of anyone who dares to speak. This isn't bad luck or false accusations, it's a predator's resume, documented in court filings across multiple jurisdictions. The extortion claims. In true abuser fashion, Diggs has filed multiple civil lawsuits claiming he's the victim, alleging extortion and defamation against those who've come forward. This is gaslighting 101, attack your accusers, claim they're after your money, paint yourself as the target. It's the same playbook used by powerful men throughout history, from Harvey Weinstein to R. Kelly, weaponizing the legal system against their victims. The pattern of impunity. What's most disturbing isn't just the charges, it's the system that enables him. His criminal arraignment was pushed back so he could play football. The NFL allowed him to continue playing throughout the playoffs despite active felony charges. The message is clear: if you can catch a ball, you can catch a break. Meanwhile, his victims are left to navigate a legal system that prioritizes entertainment over justice. This isn't just about one bad apple. It's about an entire orchard that protects its rotten fruit. When a man faces multiple, unrelated accusations of violence against women across different years and contexts, we're not looking at coincidences, we're looking at a predator who's been enabled by wealth, fame, and a society that values touchdowns over accountability. The pattern we keep missing: the numbers that prove the NFL breeds violence. Society sells us the myth that financial security equals emotional safety. That a man who can provide materially will protect you physically. The statistics shatter this delusion. According to 538's comprehensive analysis, NFL players are arrested for domestic violence at a rate 55% higher than the national average for men aged 25 to 29. While the overall arrest rate for NFL players is lower than the general population, domestic violence is the glaring exception. Between 2000 to 2014 alone, there were 83 documented cases of NFL players arrested for domestic violence. The game day terror. Research from the National Organization for Women shows domestic violence increases by 10% on NFL game days. When the home team loses, that number jumps to 13%. During playoffs and the Super Bowl, domestic violence hotline calls spiked by 26%. The culture of competition bleeds into homes. The aggression celebrated on fields continues behind closed doors. We've created a system where violence is profitable until it's inconvenient. Stefon Diggs made $14 million this season. His chef made whatever he decided to pay her, or not pay her. This is the economy of abuse: men profit, women pay, and we call it entertainment. The arrest database reality. NFLarist.com tracks a sobering reality. On average, an NFL player is arrested every 7 days. The record for days without an arrest? Just 64. Common charges include domestic violence/assault, 55% higher than general population. DUI, 30% of all arrests. Drug possession, 20% of arrests. Weapons charges, 10% of arrests. The league's complicity. Despite these statistics, the NFL's response remains pathetic. Average suspension for domestic violence, 1.5 games. Average suspension for marijuana, 4 games. Players allowed to continue playing with pending assault charges, 73%. Cases where charges were dropped after victim intimidation, 45%. The message is clear: the NFL values touchdowns over women's safety. Why rich doesn't mean safe. Psychology Today's research on wealthy domestic abusers reveals a disturbing truth: affluence creates a culture of isolation that makes escape nearly impossible. Wealthy abusers don't just hit, they systematically dismantle their victims' independence. They use lawyers as weapons, prenups as threats, and social circles as prison walls. The myth persists that money equals safety because we mistake resources for character. A man who can buy you Birkins can also buy silence. A man who charters private planes can also make you disappear from public life. Wealth doesn't prevent violence, it just dresses it better. Consider this: financial stress may be the most important risk factor for domestic abuse, but it cuts both ways. For victims dependent on their abuser's wealth, leaving means facing poverty. For abusers, money becomes another tool of control. The safety wealth promises is often the very cage it constructs. The baby mama factory: 7 kids, 7 women, 0 accountability. Stefon Diggs isn't just a serial dater, he's running a reproductive assembly line that would make Nick Cannon blush. 6 children with 6 different women. Let that sink in. This isn't a family tree, it's a spider web of child support payments and broken promises. The timeline of reproductive recklessness. 2016, Nova with Tyler Marie, his starter child, born 1 year after being drafted. 2023, Shiloh with model Kennedy Moore, because apparently one child wasn't enough chaos. 2025, the year of the breeding spree. April, Charlie Harper with model Aileen Lopra. 3 more children with 3 unnamed women. November, baby boy with Cardi B. 5 children in 1 year. This man was literally impregnating women while other women were carrying his babies. The math is sociopathic. While Aileen Lopra was in labor in April, he was already creating his next child support obligation. The Aileen Lopra case study in disrespect. Lopra's story exposes the playbook. She filed a paternity lawsuit in December 2024 when she was still pregnant. Think about that: she had to legally force this man to acknowledge his own child. The lawsuit dragged on for over a year until DNA proved what everyone already knew. Only then did Diggs acknowledge his daughter, and only after his lawyer negotiated the terms. Her attorney's statement is telling: "My client hopes they can work toward being great parents." Translation: we're starting from zero because this man couldn't even admit to fathering a child without a court order. The financial hostage situation. With 6 children comes 6 child support obligations. Using standard NFL child support calculations, 17% of income for one child, increasing incrementally, Diggs could be paying upward of $600,000 annually just in support. But here's the trap: these women are now financially tethered to a man with multiple assault charges. They need his money to raise children he barely acknowledges, creating a power dynamic where speaking out means risking their children's financial security. The pattern of abandonment. Notice how we know nothing about Tyler Marie beyond her name? Or the 3 mystery mothers from 2025? These women have been effectively erased, reduced to footnotes in Diggs' Wikipedia page. They're raising his children while he poses with his latest conquest, their existence acknowledged only when court documents force the issue. This is strategic invisibility. By keeping these women nameless and storyless, Diggs maintains the illusion of being a desirable bachelor rather than what he actually is: a man who treats women's bodies like rental properties, leaving behind children like abandoned furniture. Why Cardi never stood a chance. When Cardi posted those yacht photos in summer 2025, Diggs had already fathered at least 2 children that year. While she was defending him against assault charges, he was likely already pursuing his next baby mama. The Super Bowl wasn't just where their relationship ended, it was where she finally saw the pattern she'd been ignoring. 7 women. 7 children. 7 separate lives derailed by one man's inability to use contraception or commit to anyone. This isn't just irresponsibility, it's a deliberate pattern of creating vulnerable dependents who ensure these women can never fully escape his orbit. Every child support check comes with strings attached to a violent man who views reproduction as conquest, not responsibility. Walking into a war zone, the triple threat of STIs, baby mama drama, and violence. Let's destroy the most dangerous myth in celebrity culture: that rich, famous men are somehow cleaner than regular people. The CDC reports that 20% of Americans have an STI at any given time. That's 1 in 5 people, including your favorite athletes and rappers. Fame doesn't create immunity, it creates opportunity for transmission. The Hall of Shame nobody talks about. Charlie Sheen's 2015 HIV disclosure shattered Hollywood's carefully constructed illusion. He'd been positive since 2011, keeping it secret while continuing his lifestyle. Rock Hudson died of AIDS in 1985. Magic Johnson shocked the world in 1991. Freddie Mercury, gone in 1991. These aren't cautionary tales from ancient history, they're proof that celebrity bedrooms are petri dishes, not sanctuaries. Hugh Hefner openly admitted to contracting gonorrhea multiple times during his Playboy era. His lifestyle, endless partners, minimal protection, sex as luxury commodity, was a textbook STI breeding ground. Being rich just meant discreet treatment, not prevention. The baby mama mathematics of disease. When we look at serial breeders like Nick Cannon, Future, and Tristan Thompson, we're not just seeing relationship drama, we're seeing epidemiological nightmares. Public health research shows that people who cheat are significantly less likely to use protection. Now multiply that by fame, ego, and the entitlement that comes with millions in the bank. Future built his entire brand on sexual excess and multiple women. Tristan Thompson's overlapping pregnancies aren't just messy, they're medical red flags. When a man is impregnating multiple women simultaneously, the math is simple: condoms aren't happening. And if condoms aren't happening for pregnancy prevention, they're definitely not happening for STI prevention. The Stefon Diggs sexual health profile. Now apply this lens to Stefon Diggs. 6 children with 6 different women. For babies in 2025 alone. This isn't fertility, it's a transmission network. Every unprotected encounter that resulted in pregnancy was also an opportunity for infection. The same man who allegedly assaulted women for asking to be paid is not the man carefully discussing sexual health histories before intimacy. Athletes have documented higher STI rates due to travel, groupie culture, and what researchers call perceived invulnerability. The CDC classifies gonorrhea as an urgent public health threat due to antibiotic resistance. Yet women line up to have unprotected sex with men who treat their bodies like rental properties. The Cardi B delusion. When Cardi defended Diggs against assault charges while carrying his child, she was operating under the celebrity safety myth. She'd left Offset for cheating, not recognizing that serial cheaters are statistically the highest STI risks. Studies show that lying about sexual behavior is integral to maintaining concurrent relationships. If he's lying about other women, he's lying about his sexual health. The most chilling part? Many STIs are asymptomatic. Chlamydia, the most common bacterial STI, often shows no symptoms while causing permanent reproductive damage. HPV can lead to cancer. Herpes is lifelong. HIV requires daily medication forever. These aren't Instagram stories that disappear after 24 hours, they're permanent alterations to your body's landscape. Why rich men are actually more dangerous. Wealthy men don't get tested more, they get treated more discreetly. They have lawyers to bury health records, NDAs to silence partners, and private doctors who prioritize privacy over public health. A 2024 study found that high-status men showed reduced perceived need for protection due to their belief that consequences can be managed privately. Translation: they think money cures everything, including biology. The baby trap: how pregnancy without commitment becomes your prison. Here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud: having a baby with a man who won't marry you isn't securing the bag, it's locking yourself in a cage where he holds all the keys. The fantasy of 18 years of child support checks dissolves quickly when you realize you've just signed up for 2 decades of being legally shackled to your abuser. The financial mathematics of single motherhood. Let's destroy the baby equals paycheck delusion with actual numbers. According to 2024 U.S. Census data, single mothers have the highest poverty rate of any demographic group at 33.9%. The median income for single-mother households is $35,000, barely above the poverty line for a family of 3. Meanwhile, only 43.5% of custodial parents receive their full child support payments. That's less than half actually getting what the court ordered. Even Stefon Diggs' $21 million annual salary divided among 6 baby mothers doesn't create wealth, it creates dependency. After taxes, agent fees, and lifestyle expenses, each woman might see $200,000 to $300,000 annually if they're lucky. Sounds nice until you realize that's your ceiling for 18 years while he continues earning millions. You've traded your entire financial future for less than 2% of his income. The legal powerlessness no one discusses. Marriage provides over 1,000 federal rights and protections. Baby mama status provides exactly 0. When you have a child without marriage, you get no rights to his NFL pension, no Social Security survivor benefits, no automatic inheritance rights, no health insurance continuation, no spousal support if he leaves, no say in medical decisions if he's incapacitated, no protection if he hides assets overseas. You're not a partner, you're a vendor providing child-rearing services. And vendors can be replaced. Tied to violence forever. Here's where it gets truly dark. When you have a baby with a man who has assault charges like Diggs, you've just given him a permanent victim. Family court doesn't care that he allegedly strangled his chef or punched his ex. They care about fathers' rights. Studies show that abusive men use custody battles as continuation of abuse in 88% of cases. Every school event, every birthday, every custody exchange becomes an opportunity for re-traumatization. You can't go no contact when you share DNA. You can't block his number when he might have the kids. You can't move away without court permission. You've essentially given your abuser a GPS tracker to your life for 18 years minimum. The other baby mamas, your permanent frenemies. Remember those 6 other women raising Diggs' children? They're not going away. Every Christmas is a negotiation. Every Father's Day is a competition. His resources, time, money, attention, are finite, and you're all fighting for scraps from the same table. Group chats emerge where baby mamas coordinate pickup times and compare child support amounts. You discover he bought the other kid better birthday presents. You see Instagram posts of him at another child's game while he missed yours. The resentment builds not just toward him, but toward innocent children who didn't ask to be half-siblings in this dysfunction. The psychological prison of false hope. But the deepest trap is psychological. Research from the Journal of Marriage and Family shows that unmarried mothers spend an average of 5.5 years hoping their child's father will commit, years spent in limbo, turning down other opportunities, believing this time will be different. You see him post with new women and think, but we have a child together. You convince yourself that bond means something while he's creating that same bond with woman number 7. You're not special because you birthed his baby, you're just proven fertile and willing to accept disrespect. The generational curse. Children from single-mother households are statistically more likely to live in poverty, 5x more likely. Drop out of school, 2x more likely. Experience teen pregnancy, 3x more likely for girls. Enter the criminal justice system, 2x more likely for boys. When you choose to have a baby with an uncommitted man, you're not just affecting your life, you're statistically disadvantaging your child from birth. That's not judgment, that's data from the National Center for Health Statistics. The exit that doesn't exist. The cruelest part? There's no clean exit. You can't break up when you share a child. You can't move on when he has visitation rights. You can't start fresh when every new relationship has to navigate his presence. You've created a permanent third party in every future romance. And if you think death ends it, think again. Your child will still seek their father's approval, still carry his DNA, still wonder why daddy chose everyone else. The ghost of that relationship haunts generations. The lesson all this teaches. When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time even if they show you from a stadium suite. Especially if they show you through felony charges. Most definitely if they show you by putting hands on women who simply ask to be paid for their work. Cardi B's story with Diggs isn't unique, it's archetypal. It's every woman who thought money meant security, every girlfriend who defended the indefensible, every victim who confused intensity with love. The red flags were there, multiple baby mothers, assault allegations, bringing other women's drama into your relationship. But when you're in it, when he's texting you from the field after touchdowns, when the lifestyle feels like a fairy tale, your brain rewrites the narrative. Here's what we must understand: problematic men don't change because you love them harder. They don't become faithful because you're prettier than the last woman. They don't stop being violent because you're more understanding. These aren't relationship problems, they're character deficits that existed before you and will persist after you. Every woman who pursues Stefon Diggs or men like him is essentially playing Russian roulette with her reproductive health. The same impulsivity that leads to violence against employees manifests as recklessness in the bedroom. The same entitlement that creates 7 children without commitment extends to believing his body is above infection. Fame doesn't equal safety. It equals access to more partners, more risk, more exposure. When you sleep with a celebrity, you're not just sleeping with them. You're sleeping with every groupie in every city, every baby mama in every timeline, every secret they're keeping about their status. Having a baby without commitment isn't a power move, it's surrendering your power permanently. You're betting your entire future on a man who won't even bet a ring on you. You're giving husband privileges to someone who won't accept husband responsibilities. You're creating a child who will grow up watching their mother accept less than she deserves and learning that's normal. Cardi had one advantage: she was already rich when she got pregnant by Diggs. She could afford lawyers, nannies, and security. Most women can't. They're trapped in apartments they can't afford, begging for child support from men with assault charges, watching him live his best life while they're stuck in survival mode. Ladies, let this be crystal clear: your womb is not a lottery ticket. A baby won't make him stay, won't make him faithful, won't make him safe. All it does is make you permanently accessible to someone who already proved he doesn't deserve access. Marriage isn't just a piece of paper, it's legal protection, financial security, and public acknowledgement that you're worth committing to. If he won't marry you, he's telling you exactly what you're worth to him: good enough to sleep with, not good enough to file taxes with. Believe him. And that's a wrap on our deep dive into the tangled web of money, relationships, and the myth of security. If there's one thing to take away from the Cardi B and Stefon Diggs saga, it's that true value doesn't come from a hefty bank balance or a high-profile relationship. Remember, respect and integrity can't be bought, and real commitment goes beyond social media posts and luxury parties. Thank you for sticking with us through this intense exploration. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more content that challenges the status quo and dives into the stories behind the headlines. Until next time, stay wise and take care of yourselves and each other. See you in the next video. What do you think? Can money buy class? Let me know in the comments section. Stay bougie. Follow and support me. All links in bio. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Check description for more info. New episodes every day.